Hello everyone, I'm Ojas Save and I'm the developer evangelist at Neura. Now all of y'all must be wondering, what exactly does Neura do? Well, Neura provides you with an SDK which you can integrate with your iOS or Android application. Through this, you can understand your users' habits, real-time and future events based on the data collected from their cell phones and other devices. All of this is done by maintaining complete control over permissions and privacy. Today I'm going to show you how to integrate Neura SDK to your Android application. These are the steps that we are going to follow. Register your application, declare permissions, integrate Neura SDK to your application, add your app's UID and secret, connect to Neura, and authenticate with Neura. This is a sample Android application. It has a button which says Sign in with Neura. Currently, it has no actions assigned to it. In order to register your application with Neura, you have to create your developer's account on dev.neura.com. After creating your developer's account, click on Add an app. Enter the name of your application, company name, and the description. The description typically explains what your application is about. You can add an icon for your application by giving its link, but it is not mandatory. Click on Next. This is going to be a very important phase of registering your application with Neura. Do it carefully. If you make mistakes in this step, your application is likely to give you a no response received from the server error. Since our application is in Android, I will select the Android platform. Type the complete name of your package along with its path. I would recommend copying and pasting it from your application. In this tutorial, we are not implementing push credentials and webhooks, so we will skip it for now. I will address it in the tutorials to come. Click on Next. On this page, you will tell Neura to ask permissions from the user. Neura will give you data for those events only. For example, if your application would switch off the lights when the user leaves home, Neura would tell you when the user has left home and the user that you would switch off the lights, but Neura wouldn't switch off the lights for you. In this application, I would like to remind the user to take his pills when he leaves the office. This is the permission that Neura would ask from your user and would give you the data for that activity or activities only. Click on Finish. You have successfully registered your application with Neura. Our step 1 is complete. To integrate Neura SDK in your application, go to Neura's Android Setup Guide and add this new build rule under the dependencies in your build.gradle file. Copy and paste the line and click on Synchronize. Wait for your application to synchronize. For Neura to understand that your application is authorized, add these definitions in your strings.xml file. Your app's UID and secret are given to you when you register your application. To get your app's UID and secret, go to your developer's profile, click on the app, and go to the tech info. In any classes that you want to implement Neura, you need to add at least one or all of these import statements. In future, if you want to use additional features, you might have to import some other classes of Neura too. To get the list of all the classes and their descriptions, visit docs.theneura.com/android. To initiate a connection with our SDK, you need to define a class variable, then declare a method, for example init Neura, and copy the code as given on our website. To authenticate with Neura, define another class variable generate the permissions list from the permissions you have copied. Again, go to the application you have registered with Neura and copy the list of permissions from there. Create an instance to authenticate your request with Neura. This instance will be transferred to the authentication call in the next section. Finally, call Authenticate. You have now successfully integrated Neura SDK in your application. Let's run the application. Click on Sign in with Neura. Enter your mobile number with country code. Enter the code that you would receive from Neura. Allow Neura to access your location. Thus, you have successfully authenticated with Neura. You can now use Neura's other functionalities like receiving events, subscribing to events, and even disconnecting from Neura. We shall study about that in the later tutorials.